Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to Power of Attorney with Latanya Moore. Listen, guys, I'm excited to be back. I am so glad to be back here with you guys after being gone for a week. So, again, thank you guys so much for reaching out to me. Several of you were like, okay, Latanya, where are you? So, again, so excited, guys, to have you here with me. I just have to do just one thing. We have to get it together. So again, thank you guys so much for being a part of Power of Attorney with Latanya Moore. Please like, share, and comment, because today's topic is very, very vital, very important, because we are talking about how to stop collaborators for stealing your ideas and your money, right? Because again, this is one of the biggest things that I see with all of my entrepreneurial clients. I mean, it is always an issue. And so again, it's very important to me that we make sure that we share what you guys need to protect your brand. And so again, when you're looking at collaborating with people, it is very vital that you have some of these tools that you are going to need. For those of you that know, for those of you that are with me, we take the first few minutes to orient, let everyone join us. And also for those of you that are here, please like, share, and comment. You can actually now go ahead and start putting in the comment section, what are some of the things that you see, the problems that you've had either personally or with people that you know in this space where we are talking about people stealing your ideas. Because again, I told you guys, I see this time and time and time again with my own clients. Oftentimes, this is how people first get to me, because they've had this happen to them. Either someone that is a collaborator steals their idea or something else. So again, it's very vital that you make sure that you are liking and sharing and commenting, because this is how we keep the conversation going and flowing. So welcome. Thank you guys so much for being a part of Power of Attorney. We're just waiting to about 9:03 to go ahead and jump this off to give everybody an opportunity to be a part of today's morning show, because it's always interesting how when we do this, there's always someone who wants to know more and more and more. And so we want to make sure, guys, that we're giving it to them, right? We want to make sure that we are giving people the things that they need to really protect their brand. And so again, for those of you that are just joining us, today's show is about how to stop collaborators from stealing your idea. Okay. And so welcome. Thank you guys so much for being a part of Power of Attorney. You guys give me a lot of great information. You guys give me a lot of great topics. So I'm excited to be here with you, sharing all of that with everyone else. So again, I'm encouraging you guys, those of you that are watching, please invite your fellow collaborators, invite people to this feed that you know definitely need this information. So without further ado, we are going to get started. Again, today's topic is how to stop or stopping collaborators from stealing your ideas and money. So let me start by saying this. We all have been there, guys, where you have this freaking fascinating idea and you want to share it with people that you're like, man, in order to do this, such and such would be great to be on the team. So-and-so would be great to be on the team. So I'm going to reach out to them. I'm going to tell them this idea that we can do together. And I'm setting up that scenario because this is typically how it comes to me. This is typically how I see this particular scenario. There's one person that creates somewhat of an idea, and then they bring in other people to help them really flesh that idea out. So before we get into how those things are stolen, let me say this. Just because you have an initial spark that is an idea does not mean that after you talk with these other people that they're not now a part of that idea, if that makes sense. Like, it doesn't mean if I have an idea about something, that there should be something that holds paper together. And so I reach out to an engineer, or reach out to, I don't know, a blacksmith or someone else, and they're able to help me develop what my idea. They're able to bring to the physical world what was in my brain, right? We're not talking about that scenario, because in that scenario, these people are actually a part of what you are doing. I'm talking about a scenario where this is your thing, this is your idea. You bring people in, right? You bring people in so that they can help you push this along. So it's your idea, it's your thing, we bring people in. Now, let me tell you what happens. Typically, this comes up, you're looking to gain support, okay? You're looking to gain support. That is one of the biggest problems. Good morning, everyone. That is one of the biggest problems, because what you have to do up front is you really have to be mindful of who you're talking to. Because typically what we do, we start with our family, we start with our friends. They may know somebody who knows somebody, and after a while, 50 people know about your idea, right? There are going to be some people that they say, oh, you need to work with such and such. And so what happens is you get this group together and you say, well, this is my idea. And this is what I think that, I would like for you guys to collaborate with me on this idea. And collaboration means you're going to be adding something to it. We've seen it happen where either someone drops the ball or someone decides, well, I don't need them, I'll just push forward on my own. But they take the information that they learned from you and they capitalize on it. I see this time and time again, so I had to do a video about it. So here's the thing. Before you even open your mouth to anyone, the very first thing that you need to do, again, know your audience. Who are you talking to? And why are you talking to them? You can't, sometimes, guys, we get so excited about things that we just talk to people just because we're excited about it. But as a business owner, you have to think, maybe I shouldn't talk to this particular person about it, or maybe I shouldn't talk to everybody under the sun about it, or maybe I shouldn't get on a live feed and spread my idea throughout the digital universe. Lots of people do that before taking some necessary steps. Now, one caveat, I also see that people are so scared that someone's going to take their idea that they don't even move on it, which to me is even worse than taking a risk with some people that may very well take your idea, because then it's never going to happen. Nothing is ever going to happen if you don't take that chance. So I had to stop and pause and share that with you guys, because I do not want you to be in a situation where that's what you do. I don't want you to be in that situation where you say, you know what, I'm not going to share this with anyone because I'm afraid that they're going to steal the idea. So what do? You protect it. You make sure that you follow some of these steps. Now, these may be steps that you may not be able to accomplish on your own, but again, at least you know what to do. So when you seek out a professional that can assist you, then you know, at least on a foundational level, what you're looking for. So again, know your audience. Here's how you decide who should you be talking to about this. 1, what other elements do you need to make this a reality? Again, for those of you that are big supporters of the show, you know that it's always questions for you to answer. So the first question that you have to answer is, what type of professionals, what type of people do I need to make this project a reality? Okay. What is it? What is it that we need? And so someone has asked the question, should we have folks sign something before sharing? Yes, you should. We're going to get to that in just a minute in more detail, but the general answer is yes. But there are some situations where people are just not going to sign anything before you talk to them. So then you have a decision to make. That's why you have to do this again, due diligence. You need to know your audience. You need to decide up front, guys. You need to decide who do you need? Not the people, meaning the actual person. I'm not telling you to say, well, I need LaTanya, unless you really do need me. But I want you to say, what type of individuals do I need? What professionals do I need? What support system do I need? And then after you decide who are the people you need, the next question is, do you need these people as collaborators, or do you need them merely as service providers? Oftentimes, we fall into that trap of feeling like we need this person as a collaborator, and really, they're merely only a service provider. You only need them to provide a certain service. You don't need them to be a part of, I call it the think tank, which is your top level, the people that's coming to the table and saying, hey, let's get this thing going. And this is what I'm willing to throw in there as part of that, right? That is vital that you make that distinction. Who is a service provider and who is a collaborator that you absolutely need? Well, how do we know the difference, LaTanya? I know that's what you all are saying. How do we know the difference, LaTanya? The way that you know the difference is that if you say, is this an element that will continue throughout, that is crucial to the performance of the product or service? So I will give you guys an example of how I do my business. My business is structured in a way that it is literally a network of professionals. So for example, for people that come and work with me, when they first get to me, typically they're looking at some legal issues and putting some things together. And so they eventually they're going to need a logo for those that don't have it. Eventually, they're going to need a really great slamming website for those people that don't have it. Eventually, they may even need space to do a presentation, host a trunk show. You know, it could be anything, right? For my nonprofits, it's the exact same thing. A lot of times nonprofits, they need money or they need access to people that can help them raise funds. But on the other side, what they really need oftentimes is operations support, right? Because they don't have the funds to have a big, robust staff, full-time staff. So it may just be the executive director, a couple of assistants, and maybe some program managers, but some of the core things, legal, compliance, accounting, marketing, social media, some of those things, they just don't have the funds to really have that in-house. However, these are crucial services that they need for their business to flow. What am I saying? Even though they need this and these are critical to raise awareness and things like that, they don't need those folks as collaborators, right? Now, as a nonprofit, be smart, put them on your board. But anyway, you don't need them as collaborators. That is crucial that you understand that. You only need these folks as service providers. So I wanted to give you guys that example so that when you're making your list of what's crucial to get the job done, right? And what's a crucial service that we need, because the crucial service that you need is typically a service provider. The crucial element that you need to get the job done, those folks are going to be people that you may want to consider as collaborators. Okay. And so again, it is very vital that you start at that point to figuring out who's really necessary, right? When I say who, again, remember, it is what exactly do you need? Because most of the time you really will know you probably don't need as many people as you think. So again, do your due diligence up front. Know your audience. Know your audience, do your due diligence up front, and answer those crucial questions. And this is all the way before we even get to talking with someone. It's before we even get to talking with someone. These are the things that you need to do. So in keeping with that, you need to understand, this is the most crucial point. So for those of you that's taking notes, or if you got your phone, if you don't take anything away from this show today, one thing I want you to understand is you have got to understand how to explain what you are doing without giving the gold away, without giving away the crucial components. Bottom line, you have to know how to have this conversation so that when you walk out of a room, people are excited, but they don't have so much information that they can take that information and decide that they're going to do it themselves. Because if you are talking to people as collaborative partners, they more than likely have other resources that they can pull in that are just like you. So you have to always keep that in mind. Now, one person had asked the question earlier about, should you have people sign something before you talk to them? That's a non-disclosure agreement, right? Now, you should, but what if that person says, no, I'm not signing a non-disclosure agreement? Then you have a choice to make. Do you go ahead and talk with them? Potentially put your business out there? Or do you go ahead and say, I'm going to move on to someone else? You have that decision to make, but I'm going to say this. There are oftentimes, if you follow some of these, you really won't even need a non-disclosure because they won't be able to do it. They may come close, they may do something similar, but they're not going to be able to do your thing if you, one, don't tell them enough where they can do it. Now, if you know that based on what you're doing, you almost have to do that, I would suggest getting a non-disclosure. Now, again, there are so many different non-disclosures. I don't have time today to go into what those are, but in general, you can get a non-disclosure agreement. Now, for those of you that know, I am not a proponent of getting anything offline. I tell people that all the time. Connect with someone who can provide the service for you. Now, for those of you that don't have the budget to do that, you may attempt to get something offline, but let me tell you what I would suggest that you do. If you do that, contact an attorney or a business consultant. I do this all the time with people. Contact someone and say, how much would you charge me just to review this? And then if anything needs fixing, can you tell me what to fix? Can you tell me what to add? Lots of attorneys, honestly, they don't like to do that because once you kind of get involved, now you are responsible for that project, which is why they typically don't do this. I do this with all of my clients. If they have something, I give them standard contracts. They get that as part of the whole kit and caboodle for the ones that need them. And I teach them how to update those contracts. And they already know if they need for me to review it, they send it to me and we have all that figured out. Now, those are people that are my clients. I do provide that service. Now, this is not promoting my service. I'm just saying some people do, some people don't. And it may take you a while to find somebody that's willing to do it just on a review type of basis. Okay. So just know that. But for those of you that are stuck, if you need a referral, you can always reach out either on my personal page or on the I Protect Your Brand business page, and we'll try to connect you with a resource that can assist you. So I just want to put that out there so that you guys know there is help available. Another thing that you want to consider, depending on what it is it something that can be trademarked? More than likely. Is it an item or a product that needs to be copywritten? Maybe so. Is it such an idea that it could be considered an invention, and so it may need a patent? At this juncture, I would probably say more like a provisional patent. Now, these are all steps that you can go through before you start to pitch your idea. Now, again, so many caveats with that. One is, especially with the patent, there are so many other things that you may have to do before you can even get there, where you may have to disclose something to someone. If you have an invention that's some type of mechanical apparatus, if you're not a mechanical engineer, or if you're not just a gifted person that knows how to put stuff together and make it work, somebody's got to create that prototype. So again, this is why it's very vital, right? This is why it is very vital that you work with a consultant that can assist you in all of this and connect you with the right people. Now, we're having this conversation in a money is no object vacuum. So I want to make sure that I put that out there. Think about these things. Don't consider money, because once you start to think about what something costs, you're less likely to move on your idea. So don't let the fact that you may not have money to do all this at once. What do? You prioritize. So again, I just want to throw that out there. So the first thing is, when you're looking to gain support, be very careful of who you reach out to, how you reach out to them. Once you do reach out, once you decide who you're going to reach out to, know your audience, do your due diligence up front before you reach out to them. Who are they? Right? Meaning, what do they have to offer? Because again, if it's something that's just supporting the organization, they are probably a service provider. If it's someone that is crucial to getting this product or service out, they may be a collaborator. I guarantee you, when you go through this exercise at home, you are going to say, oh my gosh, I really don't need these 10 people. I only need these 3. And when you look at those 3, re-examine them, which actually takes us to our next step. Evaluate and reevaluate the roles of your collaborative partners. Remember, we said, are they a service provider? And here's the third category. Are they merely a resource, right? Are they the people that have access to your customer base or your target customer base? If that's the case, they don't need to be a collaborative partner. Work something out with them. Let them just be a resource. You shouldn't even be talking to them about your full idea. You should just be telling them what you need from them, right? Hey, I have a group. I'm the president of the group of police officers. I don't know. And so someone's coming to me about a new type of bulletproof vest or whatever it is, some type of apparatus. If that's the case, I don't need to be a collaborative partner. I'm just a resource that they are looking to get access to my target. You have to look at that the same way. This person, they just may be a resource, which means they're not even a service provider, and they're definitely not a collaborator. So there are a lot of different moving parts when it comes down to this. So you really have to, this is why, bottom line, this is why oftentimes people steal ideas, because you're not talking to the right people. You're already talking to the wrong people, number one. Number two, for those of you that decide to go forward with a non-disclosure agreement, you haven't done that at a minimum, but there are even aspects to the non-disclosure agreement that sometimes you can have a non-disclosure agreement and still not have protected your idea. This is why I say, don't just get stuff offline and then just hand it to somebody and think that you protected everything. You can get a copyright, you can get a trademark, you can get a patent or a provisional patent, because once you file the application, that is systematic proof that you are seeking to protect this. Now, of course, I always have people say, well, when I create a product or when I create a literary product, it's copyright written when created. Yeah. But if you try to bring a case of copyright infringement and you don't have a registered copyright, now you have a problem. It's going to cost you a lot more money. So for those of you that are saying that in your mind, just know that's not always true, right? In the sense of being able to prevail, which means if you haven't taken the appropriate steps to do that, you have to actually wait until you get that to be able to bring the lawsuit. What does that mean, Latanya? Who cares? Well, what it means is that in the year or so that it may take you to do that, that person is still operating, making money off your idea, right? So it is very crucial that you get these very fundamental things. And again, I want to thank you guys for sending in those questions. I want to thank you guys for being a part of the Power of Attorney Morning Show. It's to me, it's so important that you get these foundational information. For those of you that want to know more about me, you can go to www.iprotectyourbrand.com. We also have a Facebook business page, I Protect Your Brand. We put and just drop lots of information there. So for those of you, again, that want to know more and kind of keep up with what's going on, that's a really great, fabulous resource for you. For those of you that see yourself in this situation and you've fallen into some of these situations that you're trying to get yourself out of, please feel free to set up a time so that we can have a strategy session about how you can do that, right? Do that, because again, please feel free to reach out to me in a private message. I want to thank you guys for joining me, LaTanya Moore, on Power of Attorney. We are here every Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. So again, thank you guys so much for joining us. And so until next time, have a great day.